I'm writing a book about taking care of my mom as she died. Or actually, to be honest, I should say that up until a month and a half ago, I was writing a book about taking care of my mom as she died. But I haven't written anything on it for 5 or 6 weeks. And that's odd for me to not write much for 5 or 6 weeks. And I didn't understand why, really. Like, why am I stuck? Because I actually know what I need to write next. And where I'm at in the story is my mom has just found out that the cancer she has is inoperable and she'll be dead within a few months. And then the next section that I wrote after that was some notes that I had written back as my mom was dying, which is that there's a reason that I prefer books to life in some ways. And that's when you read a book, if there's a character you really like, that character's alive. And even if the character dies at the end of the book, you can read the book again and then again, and that character is alive once again. And I realized that I realized only a couple days ago. I stopped writing 5 or 6 weeks ago. I got stuck on it, and then I realized why a couple nights ago, and that's that when I finish writing this book, my mom will be dead again in another way. I will have gone through that whole process again. So there's a part of me that doesn't want to finish this book because I know how it ends and I don't like how it ends. And so I think I've been putting it off. But of course, we can't, just like in life. I mean, it's something that one has to, it's hard for us to realize, hard for me to realize that I look at it like we're all climbing a ladder, and then when you get to the top of the ladder, you fall into this abyss of nothingness. And, for a while, there were plenty of people above me on the ladder. And then there were fewer and fewer. And then there was just my mom's generation. And now it's just my generation. We're next in line. And one of the things that's made me feel a tiny bit better about going ahead and finishing the book is something else I wrote in there, which is that there was something in the book I was writing, and I couldn't remember the exact details of some story. And even though my mom's been dead for 5 years now, uh, my first impulse was to ask my mom, what's what's the memory of this story? What really happened back in that year? And then I realized I couldn't do it. And then I realized that in a sense, that's how people, and we die, and then that's how we ultimately leave the world, when there's nobody left who remembers any of our stories and nobody left who remembers that incident. That incident itself stays alive as long as you do, in some senses. And there's a sense then, and this doesn't make things any better really, but there's a sense in which when I finish the book, my mom will be dead again. I will have gone through that process again. And there's also a sense that in the creation of this story about my mom, that at least for some people, then she'll still be alive.